I did my project on Sia. I picked Sia because I think that she's really unique and her music sounds a lot different than every other artist out there, so that's why I picked her. Early life. Sia's full name is Sia Kate Isabel Furler. Sia was born December 18th, 1975 in Adelaide, Australia. Both of her parents were involved in the arts. Her dad was also a musician, so she was exposed to the arts from an early age, which definitely influenced her in going into the arts. She started her career by being in a band just around Australia called Crisp in the 1990s. There's a picture of their cover. And they were just a jazz band that performed locally. And in 1997, she started her solo career, but it didn't really take off, so she planned to move to UK with her boyfriend, but he tragically died in a car accident a couple of days before they were supposed to move, which really affected her. And yeah. Big break. After moving to the UK, she got her big break by landing a singing job being a backup singer for Jamiroquai, which led to her joining the band 07, which this is a picture on the top of her singing with 07. That eventually led to her getting a recording contract with Dance Pool in 2000. Also in the year 2000, her first single was recorded called Taken for Granted, which reached the number 10 on UK charts. It also reached the top 100 in Australia. Shortly after, in 2001, she recorded her first album called Healing is Difficult. That's a picture of her first album on the bottom left. After having some disagreements with her record label, she left Dance Pool, which was a part of Sony, and went to Go Beat Records. And in 2003, she recorded another album called Don't Bring Me Down, and then another one called Color the Small One, which she recorded after moving to the US. And that's a picture of the album cover on the right. Color the Small One wasn't very popular. It didn't reach any of the charts, but it would be a big turn in her career. One of the songs on Color the Small One was called Breathe Me, and it was featured in an HBO series called 6 Feet Under. It was featured in the final episode, and that got a lot of people to notice who Sia was. It brought a lot of attention to her, and it really changed her career. She said herself it saved her truly dying career. So after that, she recorded her first live album in 2007 called Lady Croissant. And in 2008, she recorded another album called Some People Have Real Problems, which debuted at number 26 in the US. All this time that she was recording these albums, she was still a part of the band 07, and she recorded 2 albums with them, one called When It Falls in 2004, and the other one called The Garden in 2006. But she was more focused on her career and not the band, and it was becoming a conflict, kind of. So they replaced her in 2009. And these are these are pictures of her albums. They replaced her in 2009. These are pictures of her albums. So that gave her more time to focus on her career, and she wrote songs for Christina Aguilera's Bionic album, and then made another album called We Are Born in 2010, which is the bottom one. But after that, she was having personal struggles. She was with alcohol and drugs, and so she left the spotlight and just focused on writing for other artists such as Madonna, Britney Spears, Beyonce, Celine Dion, and Rihanna. Pop hits and Grammy nods. After a break for a while, not being in the spotlight, she had her reappearance, but this time with the wig, and that's a picture of her wearing it. She didn't want the attention of the spotlight, so the wig was a way for her to focus on her music and not so much the publicity and all of the fame that comes with being an artist. So she actually signed a contract with producer Greg Kurstin saying that she wouldn't have to go on tour or do any publicity. And her fame rose in part because of her two new singles, Chandelier and Elastic Heart, which both made the popular charts. She released another album, 1,000 Forms of Fear, which reached #1 in the US and Australia in 2014. Her song Chandelier received 4 Grammy nominations. And in 2016, she released her 6th studio album called This Is Acting. The album was comprised mostly of songs she had written for other artists, but they never recorded. They were never used. And the one song on the album she released as a single, Cheap Thrills, it was her first Billboard 100 chart topper in 2016. And she had originally written it for Rihanna. And that's 1,000 Forms of Fear and This Is Acting album covers. Aside from her regular releasing of albums, she also does soundtrack work, and she has done soundtrack work for The Great Gatsby in 2013, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire in 2013, Annie in 2014, and 50 Shades of Grey in 2015. Personal life. She's married to Eric Anders, and that's a picture of them. She lives in Palm Springs, California, and she's a vegan and animal welfare activist, and that's a picture of her, a flyer that she did with PETA for animal welfare activism.